All right, under 2 minutes to go. Pistons up one. I'm gonna record because if the Heat lose, this is basically your post game. Oh, back-to-back offensive rebounds for the Pistons, though. That's how they got the lead the last time. That's Godito. 8 seconds left. Tobias Harris over me? I think not. I think not. Bang. Oh, shoot that. Where? I believe in you, Werewolf. Warehouse. Duncan. Mismatch. Great shot. Wide open. Midi. Bang. Cade think he gonna score? Being guarded by off night? Okay, well, they got the switch that they want. Oh, no. Another offensive rebound. That's three. Oh, no. Oh, my. Yeah. Oh, he low-key walked. Great move, though. Low-key, though, I really don't care if the Heat lose. Like, at this point, I'm kind of just rooting for the chaos and the draft pick. But at least get a stop. Let's make it interesting. They get the switch they want once again. Every time they're switching Hero onto Cade. And look at that. He's walking right to the rim. They have to double. Harris is wide open. He didn't get it off, though. Don't matter. As Tyler Hero has the ball. Heat down 2. 10 seconds to go. I do agree, though. Get the last shot. They're going to go for overtime. And one going. Good move, Tyler. Good move, boy. All right. Tyler Hero hit the first one. Second one for the tie. On God, if he misses, I'm going to punch a hole in that wall right there. But he's not going to miss it because he's boy wonder, baby. Let's go. Tie game. Pistons call timeout. All right. It's a tie game with 5 seconds to go. Tyler Hero just checked out because, duh. I don't know why Jame's in there, but whatever. I don't know. I'm kind of rooting for the chaos. Good Dito. Oh, my God. You picked it. Oh, my God. I said I was rooting for the chaos. I was lying. Definitely not off a bank. Oh, my God. What a devastating loss for these guys. Oh, my God. I truly feel bad for that locker room, bro. Truthfully, I really did not care about if the Heat won this game or not. I don't care about the win-loss column. For one, the Heat are still probably locked into the play-in because they're like 5 games up on the Raptors. But who cares if the Raptors catch us? Who cares if we make the playoffs, keep our pick, lose our pick? I don't care. I'll let fate decide all of that. But what I do care about is the guys in this locker room. And as crazy as it is to say after a 9-game losing streak right now, I know those guys care. You can tell by the effort you saw tonight from Bam Adebayo. Even Tyler Hero had a decent night. You can tell by their faces after the way the game ended. You can tell that they care. There was not a single smile from anybody on the Heat game today. This was a very hard-fought game, a tough physical game. Both teams going back and forth. You can tell this Heat team desperately wanted to win. I truly believe that, I think the whole saying now is stupid. Don't let go of the rope. That term gets used way too much. But I do think that these players sort of embody that to a certain point because I think they still care about winning. I don't think they booked their ticket to Cabo already. I think they want to win. I genuinely think they want to turn this around, especially for a group of guys that has really never experienced losing like this ever. Like, Spoelstra never lost 8 games in a row in his entire career, and now he's at 9. I can't imagine how he's even attempting to sleep at night. Knowing him, the basketball sicko that he is, I can't even imagine it. So I really still believe that these guys genuinely want to win. And to end like that, not just losing the 9th game in a row, but to lose on a banked-in game winner is one of the most depressing things ever. Like, I'm good. I really am. I don't care. I did not take Heat money line tonight. I'm chilling. I actually did take Pistons money line when the Heat were up late because, I'm sorry, it's free money. It's such free money because the Heat can't close out these games. And I don't know what it is. I mean, there was some questionable looks in the end, but there were some good ones too. Duncan Robinson had a wide open backdoor cut. Tyler Hero even had a beautiful play to tie the game. He didn't settle for a fadeaway 3 like he has all season. Y'all saw he got inside the paint, beautiful pump fake, hit both free throws. Even defensively, wow, the Pistons did get 3 offensive rebounds late in the game, which is the most mind-boggling thing when you have Bam and Ware out there. You can argue that's an effort thing, but I have to go back and rewatch those clips to see exactly what happened, who didn't box out, whatever. But still, Khalil Ware had a couple blocks late in the game, and then even on the game winner, that's phenomenal defense by Bam Adebayo. Oh, he forced Cade Cunningham to just, he barely had any space. He made him force it up, and it banks in. Like Eric Reed said on the final possession that if any team ever deserved a stop right now, it was the Miami Heat. And while I certainly don't think the Heat deserve it, because you're not entitled to wins and losses, you have to earn it. It's just to have a banked-in game winner still, like a banked-in game winner go against you in this spot. Like, and pick up basketball when someone banks in a game winner against our team. It ruins my entire night. And that's stupid pickup basketball at the park. These guys are in the midst of the worst losing streak of their careers. They're down bad right now. And then they have a banked-in game winner on them? Oh, God, that's got to be the most frustrating thing. And, yeah, I mean, obviously this season is cooked, whether the Heat won or lost. But you're talking 9 losses in a row now. They got Houston coming up. And then they got, I think Charlotte is the game after that. So we saw that rough stretch they had, and we said they might lose all of them. And so far, they lost all of them but one. Yeah, that's the stretch of the Clippers, Celtics, Grizzlies, Knicks, Pistons, and then Houston is the last game in that tough stretch. And right now, and obviously they lost the 2 games before, or the few games before that, Charlotte, Minnesota, and Chicago, and Cleveland. Yeah, so how many losses is that for the Heat? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9, yeah. And if the Heat lose to the Rockets, that'll be 10 straight. I don't understand, like, on paper, this Heat team is not great. And I know they haven't had Andrew Wiggins, which that's a whole other frustrating part. You trade Jimmy Butler because he can't stay healthy, and the guy you get in return can't stay healthy. 30 years old, making $30 million the next 3 years. I told you I didn't like that trade when it happened, and it's proving itself to be right. But yeah, so outside I know you didn't have Wiggins, but on paper, this Heat team is not 9 losses in a row bad. They're not get blown out by the Grizzlies without Ja Morant bad. Now, the Pistons, okay, like you've lost some close games to them this year, but eventually you think one of those close games will go in our favor. You had the one game where Eric Spoelstra called timeout, where he didn't have any. Of course, that cost the Heat. The other game, Jimmy Butler had like a 45-point triple-double or whatever it was, like 45 points, 19 rebounds. You should have won that close game. You lost. And now today, you're up 12 early. That lead was blown by the second quarter. But even late in the game, or going into the fourth quarter, you're up by 5. And then to still blow it. Oh, that's excruciating. We'll go through a couple of the notes here. The Heat were up 10 after the first quarter. The Pistons took the lead early in the second, but at the buzzer before halftime, Bam Adebayo got a nice floater to drop. He had 20 points at the half. Very strong game for Bam Adebayo. Khalil Ware early too had a couple nice block shots. Had 2 on the same possession. You know we love that. But then Tyler Hero did kind of ruin it by taking that transition 3, which I don't want to nitpick, but he's got to cool on that. Like Tyler Hero shot 50% today, but from 3, he shot 3 of 9. The 3-point shooting has not been there. And I feel like you should be eliminating transition 3s until you get your shot back a little bit, especially after a play where Khalil Ware has back-to-back blocks, all the momentum's in your way, and then you just completely let all the air out the window with a bad transition 3. But anyways, Khalil Ware was pretty good today too, obviously doing basically whatever he wanted offensively. Had this one poster dunk on Isaiah Stewart. My God. But also, Khalil Ware was taking advantage of some smaller matchups earlier. They had Tobias Harris. He was being guarded by Tobias Harris over me. Was just doing these little easy push shots over him. Even to start the third quarter, Ware had a great lob from Bam. And I know defensively, there was a couple of breakdowns that I'm sure we'll talk about over the next couple of days. I'll have to do some footage and stuff. But overall, I think Khalil Ware was pretty good, especially from the box score standpoint. 14 points, 12 rebounds, 7 to 10 overall. He was very efficient, and I think he had 3 blocks today too. But again, I don't know. I can't overlook the offensive rebounds at the end. I don't know if those were his fault, but if you're the center, I don't know. I got to go back and watch those films because that can't happen. Back-to-back possessions, Pistons get an offensive rebound. But anyways, Duncan and Ron Holland actually got into it a little bit as well. And then the one thing that people were noting is as soon as they started kind of getting tangled up, Bam was the first one to run up and kind of hold back Ron Holland, which I appreciate because Bam, a few times in his career, has not really been there when there's been some altercations. And the one that we remember specifically, also involving Duncan Robinson, is a few years back when Jaylen Brown tried to yank out Duncan's arm. It was a dirty play, and Bam's over there sitting, smiling, like The hell you smiling for, Bam? And I don't mean to pick on Bam because, he really broke out of his 3-game slump today. But I didn't like that from Bam back then. And that's kind of always been in the back of my head is how he didn't stick up for Duncan at that point. But today, it was nice. He did stick up for Duncan when him and Ron Holland got into it a little bit. But then anyways, we'll go in that third quarter where both teams kind of went back and forth. Bam Adebayo actually hit a 3 late. And I felt so good for Bam in that moment because he did his 3-point celebration, put like the 3 guns away, was pounding his chest. That shows that raw emotion shows me how bad he wanted to win this game. That 3 put the Heat up 5 at the end of the third quarter. It gave Bam Adebayo 30 points, so he was absolutely cooking. But the fourth quarter was a lot of the same back and forth. We'll go into clutch time now. It ended up being a 1-point Heat lead with about 3.5 minutes to go. It's a timeout, so I'm thinking, okay, Spo, draw up a play for once in your life and don't do something stupid. It seems like every time Spo calls a timeout, the Heat run a terrible offensive set after that. It doesn't make no sense to me. And sure enough, it ended up being a lob that was thrown way over Khalil Ware's head. Terrible pass. Should have been a turnover, but a Pistons player caught it out of bounds so the Heat would get the ball back. Duncan Robinson would shoot a 3, and it would hit the top of the backboard. Duncan Robinson has been playing well for the last week or so now. Had another good game today. 5 of 10 overall, 3 of 7 from 3. And in clutch time, it hits the top of the backboard. Make it make sense. And then the Heat actually ended up getting a stop. They had a wide open fast break. But the Heat can't run fast breaks, so Duncan Robinson will get blocked. The Pistons would actually catch it inbounds and start the third break. But then Duncan Robinson would actually make amends. He would get a steal right back. But then Tyler Hero would miss a 3-pointer. So not great offensive possession for a couple plays there. And then eventually the Pistons would miss on their possession. But that's when they'd get their first putback. Jalen Duren had a putback dunk, which gave them the lead with about 2 minutes to go. And then Khalil Ware tried finding Bam on a pass. Bam kind of had his man sealed inside. It was a bit of a low pass. It wasn't, maybe it was Ware's fault. I also think Bam could have caught it. But point is, late in the game, you have a turnover. And then that's kind of where my notes stopped, and I started recording on my phone. So y'all saw my reaction to the rest of the stuff in the last 2 minutes of the game. But it's sad times now. Of course, the game was on ESPN, which I never watched those bums. Even though today I did learn was Mark Jones. Mark Jones, Miami legend. We love Mark Jones. But still, when the game's also on FanDuel Sports, I got to watch my guys John Crotty and Eric Reed. So I didn't watch ESPN. But our guy Udonis was on the ESPN pregame, and Perkins was kind of saying how Pat Riley needs to hang it up. And while I never agree with Perkins, in this case, I might. I mean, listen, Pat Riley just turned 80 years old. His birthday was a couple days ago, and I am by no means discounting everything he's done for this franchise, but at what point are you going to give it up? No, I know he doesn't run everything like he used to back in the day. There's a lot of voices in there now, particularly Eric Spoelstra, we know, has a big say. Nick Garrison is probably the Pat Riley replacement. But at what point is he going to hang it up? I'm not saying retire today, but when the season's over, buddy, you might want to call it quits. I know Udonis Haslem doesn't agree with that because one of the things that Haslem said in response to Perkins is, "In Riley we trust," which I get it. I respect it. Pat Riley still works, or Udonis Haslem still works for the Heat, so you kind of got to say that, but I don't know. I think he's washed. And I think having an 80-year-old make decisions for this franchise when he knows he's not going to be, in his position much longer, it's stupid because he's going to keep trying to make these half-ass win-now moves like get Andrew Wiggins when you should be trying to acquire young talent and go from there, Unless you're going to get Kevin Durant or a real star like we've been saying. Okay, obviously, go all in. But not for Andrew Wiggins. Like, come on. What the hell are we doing here? I don't know. Truthfully, I see better basketball at the local park when I was playing today. Literally, actually, today was pretty intense. Out of nowhere. Usually Wednesdays are like a calm day at the park. They're usually a little bit more light out there. But there was some dude out there today, buzz cut. When a dude got a buzz cut, he bringing that black Air Force energy a lot of the time. But anyways, I'm guarding him this game. And first play of the game, he hits a 3. But mind you, one of his teammates, who I also don't know, literally grabbed the back of my shirt with 2 hands so I couldn't contest his 3 while I'm trying to run out. And he hits a 3, starts talking shit. And I'm like, I'm not talking back to him because I don't know this dude. But I'm thinking, like, you didn't see your teammate just grab me. So, they pull up with their whole squad and they want to play physical. And I'm like, all right, I'm cool with that. If y'all want to play physical, I'll play physical too. I have no problem with that whatsoever. You set the tone for the game, I'll play it. But then, so I ended up playing him pretty tight for the rest of the game because I was like, all right, you hit 1-3, you're not going to hit no more. So I'm playing ball denial. I'm playing full court press. I'm getting into his shooting pocket when he's trying to raise up. He's not doing nothing the rest of the game, right? But then eventually the game gets late. We're going back and forth. Maybe the score was like 9-9. We're playing to 11. And I'm right in his shooting space, just standing there, 3-point stance or whatever, or sitting in the chair because I was on defense. And Buddy takes his shoulder and just rips it over my chin. Like, just completely clocks me with the chin. Dirty as hell. Like, no intention of jab step, nothing. Just straight up takes his elbow and his shoulder and goes boom right into my chin. I flew backwards. I took a few seconds to compose myself. I didn't know if I was concussed, broke my jaw. What the hell happened? But he shot the 3 right away and made it and started talking crap. Like, or I guess it couldn't have been 9-9 because that would have been game winner. So maybe it was 8-8 because we did end up winning that game. But then anyways, so I'm like, what the hell, bro? That's dirty as hell. But I'm like, all right, you want to play physical? We'll play physical. So we probably end up scoring the next possession. And then when they get back onto offense, he tries shooting the 3 for the win. And as soon as he shoots it, I do the same shit. I take my forearm and I body check his ass as he shoots. He falls to the ground. Obviously, air balls, calls foul. And then he squared up for a second. And then when I just looked at him like this, and then he put it down because I think he knew like the fuck what he gonna do. I'm not gonna fight him. I'm gonna walk away. But as he squared up, then he put his hands down. He started walking backwards, and he's like, "Oh, that's how you want to play? You want to play like that?" And I just looked at him, and I was like, "Bro, you started it. Do you not remember 30 seconds ago you just clocked me across my chin? You started it. I'm continuing it. Let's play ball." Dumbass kids, bro. Anyways, we ended up winning the game. So we'll run through the box score real quick here. Jaime Jaquez got the starts because there was still no Wiggins, but Khalil Ware inserted back in the starting lineup. Yeah, Jaime was terrible. 7 points on 10 shots. He seems to be figured out. Bam Adebayo, wow, 30 points, 9 rebounds, 8 assists, 12 of 24, 2 of 5 from 3. He was incredible. He really, really was. The last 3 games for him were rough. I know he had like 18 last game or something. Or maybe that wasn't last game. I forget. No, yeah, because that was against the Knicks. He had 18 versus the Grizzlies. But anyways, Bam's been struggling in the last 3 or 4. Nice to see him kind of bounce back today, although all of his great games result in a loss. We said the same thing about Tyler Hero, and we used it as a knock against Tyler. I feel like we should say the same against Bam. It's only right. We used to say every good game Tyler has, we lose. It's the same thing with Bam, unfortunately. But we talked about Khalil Ware, Duncan Robinson. We talked about him as well. Hero ended up finishing with 29 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. Shot 10 of 20. So overall, he was good, although he was 3-9 from 3. But I don't know. You kind of got a good Bam and Tyler game today. We've been saying for a while that usually never happens. You got it today. Hero actually made a smart play last possession, tied the game. You still lost. I don't have the answers for it. Off the bench, Davion Mitchell gave you 12, 5 of 6 shooting. Wow. There's all this talk that they might cut Davion Mitchell last game of the season for tax purposes. If they do that, fine. If you want to save money, Mickey Harrison, fine. But don't ever let me hear the words heat culture come out of your mouth. Because this guy spews heat culture. And if you cut him to save a little bit of dough, don't ever say heat culture on a broadcast, on Twitter. Don't post a picture outside the arena. Because then you'll be the biggest hypocrite I've ever seen in my entire life. Highsmith played 25 minutes, had 3 points, whatever. Nice to see Alec Burks back from his injury. He got you 3 points. And then Pelle Larsson did play 3 minutes. Got in over Terry Rozier, so no Terry minutes today. But anyways, yeah, that's really all I got to say for this video. I guess on the Pistons side of things, wow, every starter scored in double figures. Everyone. I guess for the Heat, the same thing except for Hawkins. But yeah, every starter scored in double figures. And Cade Cunningham, 25-point triple-double. He is the real deal. But anyways, that's all I got to say. He got the Rockets on Friday. So we'll see what happens. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. Let me know down below how many more games you think the Heat are winning this season. I think there's 13 games left. What's that? There's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Comment how many games you think the Heat are winning out of 13. I'm very curious to hear what y'all think. It might not be more than 2. Who knows? I don't know. Subscribe. I'll see you on the next one.
Look, pull up in your city, tryna get that dead face. Do it on my own, I don't need no dead weight. Had to kill him off, yeah, I need a head space. You know this homegrown bitch don't offend me.